Hi, I'm Ama April. Welcome to this channel. I'm at the Platinum Bay Hotel here in Abokobi in Greater Accra. I am going to have a discussion with William. William works in finance and I can't wait because he's going to tell us a lot about mortgages. And by the way, don't forget to hit the subscribe button, don't forget to share, and don't forget to like. I'm Ama April. Welcome to this channel once again. I know it's been a while. Come with me. So hi William,
Hi.
Thank you for coming on this platform.
Yeah, thank you too.
So please William, first tell us something about yourself so that we know who we are talking with.
Okay. So my name is William. I'm a young man. I've been in the real estate segment for I think over between 8 to 10 years now.
Wow, that's a long time.
So I work for a mortgage bank.
Great.
And I've been through various departments in the mortgage bank. So I've been through from customer service to collections, and now I'm currently the data analyst for the bank.
Wow, interesting.
Yeah.
Great. How do you like it?
Well, it's fun. It's fun. It's been fun,
Yeah.
and it's been challenging throughout.
Yeah, I believe that. Yeah. So then thank you once again. So I'm so interested in how to get a mortgage here in Ghana, and maybe you could give us a little bit more insight in that, what you need and what to do.
Okay. So I think it will be fair to viewers to even understand what the whole mortgage process
Exactly,
is.
that's true.
So mortgage basically is using a landed property as a collateral for a loan. So in that, because you have a landed property, we call that a mortgage. So now in Ghana, basically, if you want to have access to a mortgage, you're supposed to either be a self-employed individual or a salaried worker. Yes, and then so for both of these scenarios, we have different requirements for all of them.
Okay.
Yes. So if you are a salaried worker, we expect you to be with a company that has been in existence for some time. At least we would want to see you have like 3 months pay slip. We want to see 3 months bank statement. So then it means that anytime you are being paid, we want to see that all your salary goes through your bank account. Then we are able to make some analysis from there.
Oh,
Yes.
that's great because it's similar to Germany actually. Okay. So do you also have to show like in Germany you also we have to see what you have to pay, like your rent, or is it similar?
Yes. Okay. So then that brings us to like the products basically for the kind of mortgages we have here. So if you're taking a mortgage, now we have those mortgages that are called buy to let, which is you're taking a mortgage to rent out to other individuals, and then we have those that is for first time buyer, that is a homeowner. If you want to take a mortgage, that is where you're going to live in primarily. Yes, we give that one also.
Okay. And that is for employers, like employees.
Employees.
And how is it when you are self-employed? Is it different?
Yes, it is different. For that one, well, it takes a longer time because one, we need to see audited financials, right? Because that would mean that your business should have been in existence for some time.
Yeah.
We want to see that you pay tax, you're a great company, you do not, you're not running bankrupt and all of that.
Yeah.
Yes, and we would want to, delve in deeper for a self-employed person because anyone at all can obviously open a company
That's true.
just try to come take a mortgage from the banks in Ghana.
Yeah, okay. That's very interesting. So in case you don't pay, for example, you get the mortgage and you don't pay for a month, is it already a problem, or like when does it start to become a problem? Because obviously, like you said, the land, the house is like your collateral.
Yes. So this is one part of the process that I have gained much more experience because as I did mention earlier, I was with the collections department.
Yeah.
So I spent about 5 to 6 years in there.
Yeah.
And yes, so through the process, there is, once you miss a payment, we now term you as a delinquent customer. So once 1 month goes away, we know that yes, we would have to chase you for the money.
Yeah.
Otherwise, there is another option where if you are going to skip a payment, then you have to apply to the bank that, you know what, you're requesting for a payment holiday. That is when that becomes legitimate. But apart from that, once you miss a payment which you are supposed to pay on a monthly basis, yes, we are going to chase you for it. We are going to ensure that you pay.
Oh, okay, that's fair enough.
Yeah.
Okay, so like for example, I have a house and I want to get a mortgage for it, but like the house, maybe it's very old or something, and the credit that I want, the loan, is like much more. Let's say, like I'm not good with the CDs, so let's say it's much more. Do you then take in more collateral, or are you like, okay, it's okay?
Okay, so with the scenario you've just narrated,
yes,
right? So a typical mortgage like this is called an equity release. Okay, where the individual wants to bring or say, okay, I have this property here, I want cash. Okay, so that is what we call equity release. Now we are going to have a valuation on that property, right? And then once that valuation is done by a certified valuer, then the price that will be attached to that property, typical of the banks here, they are not obviously going to disburse 100% on that property. There's always, we always want something we call equity contribution, where we are going to give you part of what the entire value of the property is. So let's say if the value is, since you're coming from Europe, so let's say 50,000 euros, so that will mean that we are going to disburse up to 30,000 euros, and that will also still be based on your income. Yes, your ability to pay back to us. And generally we run such products between 15 to 20 years.
Oh, okay. And is it that, do I have a possibility of paying earlier? For example, or let's say it's Christmas and my boss give me more money. Is it possible to put it in or not? Yes,
so you can put it in. So in this scenario, this is what we call prepayment. So some customers would want to say, hey, you know what, I have received a windfall, so I have about 50,000, CDs. So I want to, because it's Christmas, and I know if I do not do some payments now, I may be, cash trap somewhere in January. You know how these whole celebrations are. So some people do that, but if you do not inform the bank that you are doing a prepayment, the bank will take that lump sum of money as though you are just depositing money into your account. Then it will still be running through the same cycle. They're going to take the money month on month. Okay, and there is an advantage and a disadvantage when you do that. Now, when you're doing a prepayment, it means now you have an option to say, bank, you know what, reduce my debt, which is the principal itself. Do you mean? And then probably keep my tenor, that is how long I want it. Or someone will say, you know what, shorten my tenor and then still keep the repayment amount that I want. You understand? But then for the other scenario in which you do not, explain to the bank that I am actually doing a prepayment and you just leave funds in there, it will mean that the bank will assume you have just deposited money, let's say, into a trust account, an escrow account. So the bank will only be taking what is due you on a monthly basis, bit by bit from that money. Then financially, that one will be a loss to you because time value of money. Yes, because the money you are depositing there is not going to yield any interest, but then the bank is still going to take their repayment, which includes interest. But then again, if you are doing a prepayment, it means you are shortening or you are taking out some of the interest that the bank would have made, over a period.
So, for example, you tell the bank, I want to put money in, and they say, like, can they sometimes say no? What would be the reasons for it, or is it always possible?
Okay, good. So obviously, the bank is also another institution that has also gone to foreign partners to say borrow funds. You understand? So sometimes the more people prepay, the more it affects the bank. You understand? So to also meet you halfway, the bank has also developed something that they call like a prepayment notice, payment. More or less like once you are reducing your principal with notice at a point, we are going to charge you, say, a percentage. So to also make up for the losses we would have also incurred, because where the banks borrowed from is a fixed agreement to say, you know what, I'm taking this money from you, foreign or capital partners, for 20 years, and I'm going to pay this amount over time.
Yeah.
So for the bank has made an agreement with its lenders, okay? So it's in the same light that when you are doing a prepayment, you are hurting the bank, because the bank needs to turn around those monies as fast as it can to also pay its lenders. So sometimes, there is some, charges in there, like a percentage or 0.25%. Those should be between 0.25 to like 1% of the amount you are reducing. So if you bring 50,000 CDs like this, so we are going to charge you, so it's like 1%. So more like 500. 500 CDs for prepaying. So that's an interest that the bank will now take.
Yes. Okay. In Germany, for example, when you can get a mortgage for 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, and there is a law that, for example, you take it for 15 years, but with the law, after 10 years you can get out of it. But for example, when you have 5 years, you can get out of it earlier, unless you've sold the property or you've sold it. And is there something similar here in Ghana with the mortgages? Like when, for example, you sign a 20-year mortgage contract, can you get out of it earlier without selling the property? Or like, can you say tomorrow, for example, you become a multi-millionaire and then you're like, I have the money, I want to bring it back? Is it possible?
Okay, so in transactions like this, also, as I said, I've moved through various departments.
Yeah.
This, in a specific department like risk, will pick something like this up to understand why you took a loan just this month and you're paying off in another month. We are running anti-AML practices, anti-money laundering, so we need to understand the dynamics of why you would even want to do that. But then again, nothing stops you from exiting a contract. But as I said earlier, you're still going to have to pay a premium for doing that, because you cost us a lot of our time, and then also the fact that we could have lent that money out to someone else and turned it around, but you are now paying us back. And, so yes, you can exit your contract as anytime you want, but then again, it's subject to anti-AML checks. We're going to have to do all of those checks before we accept those funds, because now we are in a time where there's loads and loads of money laundering all over the world.
True,
so people are now, some small research I've done, I have seen that, especially when you come to the Ghanaian market, real estate industry is not an industry, even though we have a regulator, it is not, the enforcement is not as solid as it has to be. So you notice there are several developers in Ghana, and because of that, there are a lot of people using those means, like laundering money through, those schemes. So then again, once you want to, so with banks, it's very tough. We'll have to subject you through other scrutiny before we accept those payments.
Okay. So, for example, I'm not living in Ghana, and then I come to Ghana, I find a place, and I'm like, okay, I want to buy this property. Is it possible for me I'm a Ghanaian, but as a foreigner, to, get a mortgage, or is it not that possible? Do you have to live in Ghana to get a mortgage?
Okay, thank you. So this is an interesting question. Yes, of course. Once you're Ghanaian, you are welcome to own a property in Ghana. Yes, you may be living overseas, but then again, you are always welcome to have a property in Ghana. It is just that there's a risk premium also on that, because once you're not here, and then say the worst case happens, it means we would have to, if we are serving you a notice, we have to serve by substituted service, which means you are out of jurisdiction, so we have to serve it outside and all that. So in trying to analyze or give out a loan to people of Ghanaian descent living outside, there is another premium we slap on the interest rates. Yes, that we add onto their their loan.
Okay. And let's say I was a total foreigner, let's say a German woman, and have no connections. Is it also somehow possible?
Yes. So for that, to be honest, I do not think it is possible because you would obviously need to have something that ties you to Ghana to be able to. It doesn't mean you can't own a property in Ghana, but owning a property by going through a mortgage system.
Yeah, exactly. That's it.
There's something should be tying you to Ghana. You see that you're working in Ghana, you have a permit to be working in Ghana. Yes. But if you do not have that, you can't just be in your country. That will also pass for things about money laundering. Yes. So no total foreigner, as far as I'm concerned. Yes.
Okay. So William, do you have to have a bit of money to, get a loan, like an equity capital?
Yes. So typically all the banks here will generally expect you to have what we call your skin in the business. So the skin in the sense that you need to have some equity, because then again that will demonstrate your ability to pay back to us. So if you're not going to put in anything in there, then why would a bank even lend to you? So it shows that you want the bank should put all their risk to you, but then the banks here won't do that. So typically you need to have what we call the equity contribution, which is usually between 20 to 30% of the value of the property that you're financing. You want the bank to finance for you. So you would need to have 20 to 30% of that. Okay.
So when you have 20 to 30%, let's say 20, do you get a better interest rate than, for example, when you have 30%, or is it the same?
So that would then come along with the type of product that you're taking, the mortgage product that you're taking. So they all have different requirements. So that will not necessarily influence the interest rate. The interest rate typically will be influenced by, as I said, the Ghana reference rates here, and then probably your credit history. So once you have a good credit score, obviously the risk on you as an individual is a bit minimal. So then again, it informs what interest you'll be given. And also, as I said, if you're a non-resident Ghanaian, then that will also mean that we'll have to slap some premiums on it. So for the interest, yes, it is not directly proportional to your equity contribution.
Okay. And you mentioned something very interesting. My ears are bigger now. You mentioned that it depends on the product, the mortgage product. So what are the typical mortgage products that are on the market?
So across the banks, averagely in Ghana, usually the first and foremost one will be the home first-time buyer. So that is purchasing a home as an individual that you're going to live in. But then again, we have some other mortgage products. It varies from bank to bank. Some of the banks offer construction loans where you would be granted a loan. That is, if you have a piece of land, right, then you need some assistance to be able to build, the bank will do their assessment and then give you a loan to do your construction. There is also a product typically like home completion. Even though it's the same as construction, but then construction, the only difference is construction. We are looking at a bare land where you want to construct. And then we will help you construct. But then for home completion, let's say you built your house to a certain point, and then you need assistance from a bank. Now the bank would take that also, so would finance the remaining part of it. But in those two scenarios, the bank will expect that you come with a bill of quantities, right? And the bill of quantities would also be assessed, because then again, you can come with any form of bill of quantities from wherever, and then just to inflate prices. But then again, it will be double checked so that we ensure that you have the right bill of quantities. And we have in-house experts across all the banks that are going to ensure that what you have will be the right fit for you to be able to construct or complete your dream home.
Okay, very interesting.
So that is one of the products. Then again, we have a product also like equity release, which I did mention. That's, yes, you have a house, you are cash strapped. Obviously, you need cash. So it means that you now come and mortgage your house. You understand? You now bring your house and then we give you money for that, which you are going to pay over time. So that at least you need some money to do your other businesses. The banks in Ghana are here for you.
So William, can you get a mortgage from every bank here in Ghana?
I'll say no. Yes, because not every bank in Ghana has such products, offers such products. But there are some notable banks in Ghana that offers a wide variety of these products. Typically, I think the premier mortgage house here in Ghana is First National Bank, Ghana, formerly Ghana Home Loan. They have been in the mortgage business for God knows when, for over close to 15, 20 years now. And then you have banks like Fidelity Bank, Eco Bank, Ghana Commercial Banks. Yes, and I think those are the banks that I think currently. But then to be very sure of the banks that really offer mortgage products in Ghana, then you have no better institution than First National Bank.
Okay, so do you go directly to the banks, or are there also mortgage officers or like companies where you can also go and they will check all the banks together?
Okay, so typically there have been some, especially for those non-residents, there have been some offices where people help those non-resident people. I think usually when you join some of these WhatsApp groups like Guba and all of those groups, you'd find some of these interesting things in there where they organize some symposiums for these things where the banks will come talk to you about mortgages in Ghana. Yes, so you have things like that. And apart from that, typically you would have to walk into those banks. So as I did mention, First National Bank, Fidelity Bank, Ghana Commercial Eco Bank, you just walk into those banks and then you try to, ask for such products. But the ones that I am very sure of will be First National Bank, Ghana, Republic Bank, Fidelity Bank. Yes, these banks here. But most of those other banks, I think, would generally just do for their staff members. But for non-staff, these are the go-to banks.
Okay. So as a young girl, let's say I'm living here, I find a property. Please give me tips or give us tips how to go about it when you want to get the mortgage, what you should have as documents, for example, at least before you start asking around.
Okay, so first and foremost, I said the two main people that we learn to are salaried and self-employed. So as young as you are, so obviously if you are employed, now one, we would need your ID. So an ID that obviously ties you to Ghana, where you want to take the mortgage from. We are going to need proof of your job, where you're working. So we are going to need, so proof of job, I mean, we need your pay slips. We need bank statements to prove that, yes, then again, you receive payments from this specific company. We would also obviously need to see, now, before you get a mortgage, you should have obviously seen a property you want to buy. So then again, that comes with issues of a vendor who is selling to you. We need to have the same, the IDs of the vendor. We need to see your offer letter from the vendor also. Yes, and then once we do the analysis, so those are basically the most important things that we would require. So there are some other letters here and there that we will need, but then the main things has to do with your pay slips, your ID card, the letter from your vendor, the vendor's ID card also, and then your offer letter, because the vendor is supposed to tell us, the bank, how much he is willing to sell the property to you. So once we do our analysis, we would disburse, basically in Ghana, I know they would disburse up to like 80% of that. That is on the average scale amongst banks. But there are some case-by-case scenarios where they even disburse full amount. But that will be subject to some insurance or some very technical, requirements. That is when they would say, okay, so if the vendor says, I'm offering you a property for $500,000, then again the bank is saying, okay, I'm willing to take up the entire $500,000. But there's another risk that the bank needs to take care of. You understand? So those will also come with special requirements. But then again, on the average, all the banks here in Ghana on the average will disburse up to 80%. Okay. Yes, and with that, if you're looking at the interest rates, there's a determinant factor here in Ghana, which we call the Ghana reference rate. This is GRR. So usually the basic rate starts with the GRR plus some basis points, which is between 8 to 10. So currently we are saying that the GRR is around 26%. So plus 8 to 10 on the average. So that will be your interest rate in CDs. But when you come to the forex denominated loans. So we have that for dollars. So for dollars, averagely you should get, we are trying to move away from that. But then some housing and some finance houses here would obviously in the business of disbursing in dollars. So that also has its basic rate, and that is informed by LIBOR rate, that is from the London Interbank, all of that. So with that, now we are looking at somewhere in the region of 13 thereabout as the basic rate before the margins.
Wow.
Yeah, so as I said,
That's a lot.
that's a lot. So as I said, if you're a foreigner, that would also slap another premium on that. Just to make sure that we are mitigating lots of the risk. Yes.
Wow, that's really a lot compared to Germany, for example. Wow. Okay. Thank you once again for your time. I hope we have learned a lot. I have learned a lot. And I might put William's socials in the down below. Thank you for your time. In case there are questions, then just type them in the comment section, then I can ask William once again. So thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, and see you in the next video. Bye.
Bye.
Hello, William.
Just me.